Now is the time to plant cool season vegetable seeds and plants in our gardens. We can plant things like radishes, beets, carrots. We can start looking for onion transplants, seed potatoes, and cabbage and kale plants in our garden centers. We recommend that these things be planted between the middle of February and the middle of March, earlier in the southern part of the state, later in the northern part of Oklahoma. Well, I'm going to plant some spinach here in one of our raised beds, and we've got some little rows made in the soil here. So we're just going to kind of tamp those out into the rows we got here, and we want to try to get the seeds about 2 inches apart in the row. If we get them thicker, we can come back later and thin the plants a little bit. Now, if we were planting our spinach just in a patch in the garden, we would aim for about 9 seeds roughly per square foot. This variety of spinach is Melody, and it is a variety that we recommend planting here in Oklahoma. Spinach needs to be planted about 1/2 inch deep, so we're just going to cover it with a little bit of soil here. Get it about 1/2 inch deep. We'll tamp it down to get good seed to soil contact of our Melody spinach here, and then we'll water it in. Now, it seems to be a growing trend right now with spinach being used in salads, even more so than lettuce, and that's because you get a lot more nutritional value from the spinach than you do from the lettuce. And I think spinach really tastes great as well. We'll come back and water in this other row just the same. Now, raised beds are great for gardens who don't have a lot of space, and raised beds were great for our garlic planting with all the rainfall we had this year. You may remember last fall on our program, we planted all these varieties of garlic, and with all the rain that we've had this year, we are lucky that we've got them in the raised bed, and it doesn't look like we've had any rotting problems. Well, if the weather doesn't continue to be moist, we will come out. If we have a dry spell, we'll water our garlic because it does have a shallow root system. You can see we've got some mulch in place here with the grass clippings to help conserve the moisture. And we'll also keep all the weeds pulled out of the garden. Want to keep those from competing with our garlic plants. They can block the light if they get large, and they can also house or harbor insects or other pests like spider mites. You want to keep all those weeds out of our garlic patch. Now, you can see that our plants have come through the winter, or the coldest part of the winter so far, really well, and they started to put on quite a few leaves. So now, at this time, a lot of gardeners like to give their garlic plants a weak solution of fertilizer. We could go with something like Miracle Grow or some of those other liquid fertilizers at a pretty low rate. Now, if a soil test has told you that you have plenty of nutrients, especially nitrogen, available, you may not want to do this, but a lot of gardeners like to do it anyway, just to get those bulbs to have a little bit more size on them. If you are an organic gardener and you don't want to use a chemical fertilizer, you could use something like fish emulsion with a little or very low fertilizer analysis. Some of the seaweed extracts are also available. This one is actually fish emulsion and seaweed extract, but again, very low analysis to apply that to your garlic plants. Now, for our elephant garlic right here, if we start to see any flower scapes coming up in the center of the plants, we'll keep those cut out. Also, any of our hardneck varieties of garlic, if those start having flower scapes or those flower stalks appear, we'll cut those out as well, because by keeping those removed, that'll also help those garlic bulbs to get a little bit more size on them. Well, we'll keep an eye on the moisture level of our garlic, and later on in the early part of the summer, when those lower leaves start to turn brown, we'll harvest our garlic, and we'll keep you updated on how the bed turns out.